In this video, I will be sharing my honest opinion on all the popular Korean sunscreens along with the skin type recommendation. Like, the goal of this video is to help you pick right sunscreen for your skin type. And I will be mentioning these sunscreen from lightweight to thickest consistency. So if you have skin type which is like combination oily, you probably want to watch out the first half of the video. And on the other hand, if you have skin type which is like a normal, dry, very dry, or in general if you prefer thicker moisturizing sunscreen, then you definitely want to check out the second half of the video. So the first and the most lightweight sunscreen of this video is from the brand Numbuzin. It's their #1 clear filter sun essence. I have 2 tubes of it. One is empty, other one is like fairly new. Previously this #1 sunscreen was named as pure full calming water sunscreen. Few years back they changed it to like clear filter sun essence, and the brand claims that they have not made any changes to the formulation. The texture is also same, but when I use both of these sunscreen on my dry sensitive skin, I felt that the newer version, like clear filter sun essence version, felt a little more drying on the skin. When I continued to use it, also gave like some minor texture, nothing major, nothing serious, but when I use this older version, I did not experience any of this. I think they must have made some changes to the base ingredient. They must have made the sunscreen a little more mattifying, like feel wise. But with this said, I must say it's a fantastic Korean sunscreen, like lightweight Korean sunscreen for oily skin and combination skin. So if you prefer a satin matte finish and you want something lightweight, maybe little hydrating on the skin, which is also like suitable for your acne prone skin, you can check this one out. But dry skin people, if you want to use this sunscreen, make sure that you do use a thick moisturizer before. Otherwise within like hour or so, you will start experiencing dryness. Like, I'm talking about dry skin people. I mean, if I had to like give a rating based on my experience, I would have given it like 3.5 out of 5. But because my mother loved this sunscreen for her oily acne prone skin, I'm giving like 5 out of 5. Based on her recommendation, I'm like, this is really good for oily skin. And the next sunscreen is very popular on internet, and it is from the brand Anua. It is their Heart Leaf Silky Moisture Sun Cream. Now this has very interesting texture. It has this cushiony gel cream kind of texture, and I really wanted to love this sunscreen. Whenever I applied this sunscreen on my skin, initially it felt very hydrating, very moisturizing, but after 30 minutes, like, oh my god, my skin was like cracking dry, painfully dry, and with just a few days of usage, I even experienced a lot of dehydration, lot of texture. Personally, I feel if you have like skin type which is sensitive or dry, very much prone to dehydration or damaged skin situation, then you probably want to skip it because it's not even that cheap. It does come on like little costlier side. Very oily skin people might find it a little heavy, but I think combination skin might like it. I really wanted to love this sunscreen because you see, it has very elegant texture. It doesn't leave any white cast. Initially it feels very nice on the skin, but it really did not work for me. So this next sunscreen that I'm going to talk about is something I'm sure many of you must be very curious about. Like, the sunscreen is from the brand Beauty of Joseon. It is their Relief Sun Aqua Fresh. Like, this is the lighter version and is particularly made for oily and combination skin. So as expected, this definitely had a lighter texture. It had this lightweight, lotiony, creamy kind of texture. When I applied this sunscreen on my skin, initially I did find it very moisturizing on my skin, and I was like, wait, this was supposed to be like lightweight feel wise, but why is it feeling like a moisturizer? But I was like, it's okay, let me just use it. So after 2-3 minutes of application, one thing I noticed is it made me a little sweaty. I have dry skin, I don't sweat that easily, but it made my skin sweaty, especially during this peak hot summer or on days when the humidity was insanely high. Why is this Korean sunscreen behaving like some of the Indian sunscreen or sunscreen which you get from like Lakme or Nivea? Like, they can make your skin or face sweaty. After 20-30 minutes of application, it did set to like complete matte finish, and I was like, what's going on? Initially it feels moisturizing and even sticky on some days. Another issue which I faced with this one is after third application of the day, it did pill just a little bit, especially around like around hairline, like near eyebrow, especially around this area. I don't know why. Here it did pill just a bit. Thankfully, like, it did not give any reaction on my skin other than drying out my skin. Feel if you have like sensitive skin, dry skin, you probably want to skip it, like try out their other version. This is especially for like oily and combination skin. And this next sunscreen that I'm going to mention is from a popular brand. Like the sunscreen itself is not that popular, but the brand, like, it became viral last year on internet. So I'm talking about this Mixsoon Centella sun cream. Now this one also has this cushiony gel cream kind of texture, and if you have used the Anua sunscreen, the texture feels quite similar to it, just a little more moisturizing. During the application, it feels nicely moisturizing on the skin. It also gives this slight cooling sensation. I think that's because of the alcohol in it. But luckily my skin did not have any issue with this alcohol. I personally feel the formula overall should be good and should be like suitable for your skin type. But in case if your skin is like sensitive towards alcohol, then it's a completely different story. And then like if that's the case for you, then you probably want to skip it. And also it blends very quickly. Like doesn't matter whether it's your like third application of the day or fourth application, it blends seamlessly into the skin and leaves your skin like a little hydrated, little moisturized. But with this sunscreen, again, I did experience little dryness. Thankfully it did not irritate my skin, and when I used a thick moisturizer before it, I did not experience the dryness. So if you have like sensitive skin, dry skin, normal skin, do use a moisturizer before this sunscreen. This way it won't be like, you know, drying on your skin. But on the other hand, if you have like combination skin, you can use it directly. Oily skin might find it little heavy, especially during the hot humid summer or during the peak monsoon time. And this next sunscreen is also like very popular on internet. It is from Haruharu. It is their Black Rice Moisture Airy Fit Daily Sunscreen. Sunscreen has lightweight creamy texture. Initially, like, you know, during the application I thought, okay, this is gonna be like a nice moisturizing sunscreen, just like, you know, Isntree hyaluronic acid one. But I was wrong. This again did not work for me. Like, I'll come to that, like what happened. So during the application, it takes a little extra time to blend in. This isn't good, especially on days when you are like in hurry. But anyways, so during the initial application, it feels nicely moisturizing on the skin. It gives that dewy finish, but again right after 20 minutes it also sets to like matte finish, at least on my skin. This did not give any like, you know, eye irritation. This did not leave any white cast, which is a good thing. But what happened in my case is like with just few days of usage, I experienced lot of dehydration on my skin, and also I got few acne, like some minor acne. I was like, I have to stop using this, otherwise my entire face is gonna get filled with acne. So I stopped using it and my skin was like normal. So clearly this did not work for me. Feel if you have very dry skin, very oily skin, you probably want to skip it. It's not moisturizing enough for the very dry skin. It can feel greasy for the very oily skin. But on the other hand, I feel a normal combination skin people will love it. Normal skin or maybe like little dry skin, do use a moisturizer before. Otherwise it can or it might dry out your skin. But on the other hand, if you have like combination skin, slightly oily skin, skip the moisturizer before using it and it should work well for you. Like if you see, yeah, I have mentioned all the popular. If you see like all these popular sunscreens which are like viral on internet, they did not work for me. And I was like, wait, I do see a pattern like in some of these sunscreen which did not work for me. Started comparing their ingredient list. Like there must be something which is like common in these sunscreen which is like, you know, not suiting my skin. Mixsoon one, Numbuzin one, the newly launched Beauty of Joseon one, Anua, Haruharu, like all these sunscreen, they have one new UV filter. All have this one particular ingredient in common. I'm putting up the name. So this is a new generation UV filter which they all have, and I think my skin is a bit sensitive to this. I'm like, either this ingredient is not sensitive skin friendly or my skin is like allergic to it. So let me know if you have used all these sunscreen and if you have experienced something similar. Anyways, now let's move on to the next set of sunscreen. And all the next set of sunscreen that I'm going to mention, they definitely work better on my skin, and I prefer the next set of sunscreen on my skin. than all these. So this next sunscreen that I'm going to mention is my number one sunscreen. I absolutely love it, and I feel that it's a very underrated sunscreen. I really don't know why people are not talking about it on internet. The sunscreen is from the Goodal. It's their Heart Leaf Calming Moisture Sun Cream. Now they do have two versions. One is like a mineral version. This is like a chemical sunscreen. So this sunscreen has this lightweight, creamy, lotiony kind of texture. Like if you have used the Round Lab Birch sap moisturizing sunscreen, it's quite similar to the Round Lab one, but slightly lighter. For lotiony creamy texture, it gets absorbed very quickly, it blends very nicely, it doesn't pill, it has never ever irritated my skin, it never leaves any white cast on the skin. It's like a very beautiful sunscreen. So on your skin it's gonna feel lightweight and little moist. So if you prefer like semi-matte kind of a sunscreen which feels little moist matte on the skin, you can like check this one out. And I feel pretty much all skin types can use it, but if you have skin type which is like very dry, do use a moisturizer before. And on the other hand, if you have like oily skin, very oily skin will find it a little sticky, especially during humid time, like humid monsoon, hot humid summer combination and oily skin. If you want to use this, skip the moisturizer before, skip any rich serums before, just use it alone in the morning and you're just good to go. So this is my go-to sunscreen during the bad skin days. But with this said, I do want to mention that it does contain this alcohol. It basically helps in better absorption of the product, just like your alcohol, but it doesn't give reaction and it doesn't irritate skin like your denatured alcohol. So it's technically an alcohol, but it's not irritating or drying like your denatured alcohol. Unless your skin has an issue with the T-butyl alcohol, I don't think you have a reason to skip this one. This is my number one sunscreen. I'm gonna rate it as like 5 out of 5. And this next sunscreen has been popular on internet among people who are like serious Korean skincare user, among Asian skins. Like it's been quite popular. This sunscreen is from the Round Lab. It's the Birch sap moisturizing sunscreen. This again has a lotiony creamy kind texture. It's quite lightweight on the skin. It does take a little extra time to blend in compared to the previously mentioned like this this Goodal one. I just completely forgot the word Goodal. So compared to the Goodal one, this is little more moisturizing on the skin. It takes little extra time to blend in, but once it does, it sets very nicely. It doesn't leave any white cast. Finish it gives, it's almost like little dewy to little satin, like somewhere in between. Does not give matte finish on the skin. So I feel if you have skin type which is like dry, very dry, normal, which is, or maybe like combination, you all can use it. Very oily skin can use this during the dry summer or during the winter time. During like hot humid summer or this monsoon season, you will find it heavy. This sunscreen, I feel it's not sweat proof. Like none of these sunscreen are sweat proof, but this one is little waterproof. I'm not sure how much it's gonna be like swimming pool friendly, but on a day-to-day basis, if you get little wet in the rain, it's not gonna washed away from your skin. Because lately I have been testing so many sunscreen and so many of them did not work out on my skin. So many sunscreen did dehydrate my skin to the point like my skin was in a verge of getting damaged. When my skin was already dry or very damaged, it did sting a little bit, not much, just a little bit for initial 1 minute on my already very sensitive or already dehydrated or damaged part of my face. And also if my eyes were already dry and irritated, if this sunscreen went into my eyes, it did irritate. Next sunscreen that I'm going to talk about, it has been quite popular, not extremely famous, but you must have seen it here and there on internet in last 3 years, I guess. So this sunscreen is from Skin 1004. It's their Centella Water Fit Sun Serum. So this is a hydrating, moisturizing kind of a sunscreen. It has this smooth, creamy lotion-like texture. For its quite a lightweight texture, it takes little extra time to completely blend in, so you will have to give it few extra seconds. It doesn't pill, it doesn't leave any white cast, feels lightweight and moisturizing on the skin. It doesn't feel sticky. So many skin types can use it, but if you have like very oily skin, skip it. Or if you have oily skin who lives in hot humid climate, skip it. It's gonna feel sticky on your skin. Dry skin, very dry skin, may or may not like it, because I personally have felt that on days when my skin was already little irritated, little dry, or like little dry than usual little dehydrated, it did sting my skin, especially if I use it directly on my skin. But along with the moisturizer, it was okay. So this is why, like, if you have damaged, dehydrated, very dry skin, probably want to skip. I feel this is a perfect fit for normal to combination skin. Some of you who have watched my older video, you're pretty sure like gonna think that in my older videos, like last year videos, I was like, these two are really good sunscreen, and now why am I not so happy with them? In last 5-6 months when I was testing out all these new sunscreens, my skin did go through some dehydration, irritation because of some sunscreen which did not work on my skin. So I was like, let me test some of the old sunscreen again for the sake of this video on my bare skin. And I was like, okay, on very dehydrated, very irritated skin, some of these sunscreen may not work that well. So that's why, like, you know, I'm updating my reviews. Okay, so this next sunscreen is, lately you don't see so many people talking about it, but in last 3 years or 2 years, it was all over the internet. And I'm talking about this Beauty of Joseon Relief sunscreen, like their original sunscreen. It has this creamy moisturizing texture. During the application, it does take a few extra seconds to blend in completely, but once it does, it just sit well on your skin without the heavy feeling. And it doesn't make your skin or face sweaty, especially for combination skin. If you used it, like, you know, 3-4 times in a day, towards the end of the day, you might find it a little heavy. But for normal dry skin, it's not gonna feel heavy. Like, I'm talking about the 3rd or 4th application of the day. The entire beauty world loves this sunscreen, but I'm not a fan of this one because, you see, whenever I have used it on my skin, after few days I always experience some minor, like, not major but minor small size acne on my face. And as soon as, like, I stopped using it, the acne were like gone on its own. If I used it on my already like bad skin, like when I have a lot of irritation or breakout, it made the situation further worse. This has some fermented ingredients. Like, fermented ingredients are great in general for the skin barrier, for the dryness on the skin. But if you have like severely acne prone skin, I'll suggest that try out the mini first. Don't waste your money on the full size if you have extremely acne prone skin. This is best suited for normal to dry skin. Combination skin can also use it if you prefer sunscreen which gives this, you know, slightly dewy finish on the skin. Oily skin, skip it. I don't know how and why some of the creators online are suggesting this is for oily skin. So I personally feel if you have oily, very oily skin, check out their fresh Aqua, like their Aqua version. This is not for you. Overall, I'm not happy with this product because additionally, if this sunscreen gets into my eyes, you know, sometime when you're applying and if the product like seeps into your eyes, it stings my eyes. The next 2 sunscreens that I'm going to mention, they are especially good for normal to dry skin. Combination skin can also use it, but they are like best suited for normal to dry skin. Sunscreen is from Isntree. It's their hyaluronic acid watery sun gel. They do say it's a gel formulation, but I feel it has this rich gel cream kind of texture and it feels like a moisture on the skin. So for the skin suitability, it is suitable for a lot of skin types, but if you have like oily skin, like very oily skin, just skip it. Don't even bother like using it. If you have like oily skin, wait for the winter time, and even during the winter, use this without the moisturizer. Like, I'm suggesting this to oily skin people. On the other hand, this is best suited for normal to dry skin. Combination skin which leans towards the dry side can also use it, and combination oily skin can use it pretty much throughout the year, but not during hot humid summer. During that time it can feel a little heavy on the skin. Personally, I have never experienced any issue with this. This is not first time that I'm trying this sunscreen. I've used it before so many times, so I absolutely love it for my dry skin. And before I conclude this review, I want to mention, if you are someone who is avoiding this UV filter like Homo Salad, then you probably want to skip it because it does contain Homo Salad. Like, Homo Salad is a widely used UV filter. Like, it's not the new filter, it's very old and very popularly used UV filter, but some people avoid it because like it's not completely proven, as far as I know. Like, I'm not very updated with all this, but as far as I know, it's not completely proven that this is a bad ingredient. Last sunscreen of this video is very moisturizing on skin and is particularly made for like dry to very dry skin people. Like, if you have normal skin or combination skin, you might want to check out this particular sunscreen like that I'm going to mention during the winter time. So I'm talking about this Cosrx Aloe Soothing Sun cream. So this has very nice creamy smooth texture, feels and looks exactly like any other moisturizer. This used to be like, I'll come to that why it's not like my number one pick at the moment. So I have used some tubes of it before. This is not like first time I'm trying it out. I first used it back in 2017, and I think this must be my 4th tube or something, or 5th, I don't remember exactly. So back in the days, this used to be my number one pick for my dry skin, because you see, it felt like a moisturizer. It, like, with this I didn't have to, like, think about using moisturizer or any treatment before. On its own, it was enough for the quick morning routines, and it never left any white cast on my skin. It was super comfortable and never peeled on my skin. And back in 2021, I guess around that time, there was some Korean sunscreen like Isntree, like so many popular Korean sunscreens were tested, and the UV rating which they claimed, it did not, like, come out around that. Like, it was way below that. So after 2021, the brand reformulated it, and this reformulation is not, I mean, it's nice, still better than so many like sunscreen which I mentioned in the beginning of the video, but I'm not liking it as much as I did back in the days. So during the application, because of its rich creamy texture, and compared to before, this does take a little extra time to blend in fully, but once it does, it sits well, works and feels almost like a moisturizer. And on my skin, it has never peeled or caused any issue. And I'll come to the white cast. During the first application, the white cast is not that visible on the skin, like only around this, like hairline, maybe a little bit around eyebrow. For 4-5 minutes you can see it, but after 4-5 minutes that also goes up. After 3rd application of the day, you will see a prominent white cast on your face, like not very white, but you will be able to see it. And this white cast after the 3rd application, I think takes good 10-15 minutes to go away fully, or it might not even go away, especially around like hairline. The whitish thing is still visible. So yeah, like, this is something which I never experienced with its older formulation. With this said, I do want to emphasize that compared to all the sunscreens in this video, this does provide some decent protection against water splashes. Like, this is slightly waterproof, not sweat proof, but slightly waterproof. So it does contain OMC. It's not OMC free sunscreen, so if you are someone who is avoiding OMC, you probably want to skip it. So yes, if you have like normal dry skin and you are okay with the dewy finish on the skin, and you need that one product which works like a sunscreen and moisturizer, you can check this one out. Before I end the video, I just want to put up this disclaimer that if you have very oily skin, and if you prefer like silicone ultra matte sunscreen, then you might not like it. On the other hand, if you're okay with satin matte, slightly matte kind of sunscreen, then you probably want to check out for your oily and very oily skin.